pleasure and excitement to be with you in this session. Thank you so much, Dr. Viola, for coming to Revival Girls High School. Allow me to invite the doors to welcome our facilitator.
Praise God. Thank you so much, our dear chaplain. Our guest for today before you is Amanya Joseph, Director of Studies, Revival Girls High School. And before you is Revival Girls High School community comprising of Senior 1, Senior 2, Senior 3, and Senior 5s. Before I begin, I want to thank God who has provided us with all the mercies to reach all this far, and the journey mercies that He has accorded our guest for today to reach this place safe free. Let's clap for the Almighty. Still thank the Almighty at this opportune time for giving journey mercies to our guest speaker to reach in this place safe free. And at this opportune time, you will allow me invite our guest speaker. I may not introduce her in the right protocol, so at this opportune time, you allow me invite her, introduce herself to us, and goes on to unpack the package that she has brought for us today. Madam Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you, Dos. Good morning, everyone. Praise the Lord. Okay, I'm happy to be here, and I want to thank the school management for inviting me to speak to you. I've heard a lot about Revival Girls High School, and I'm happy to be here to see it, how it looks like, and how you look like. You are lucky and blessed to be in this school because it's a school that has come on the block in just not even years, but a year. And very soon you'll be saying years, but yet it's becoming an important school. So I want to thank the diocese for starting this school and the bishop for reaching out to invite us to share and be with you. I had planned that I would use a projector, but I learned this morning that I'm not able to project. So as a teacher, I'm trying to think how to do it, and I very well know that we shall do something together. I was invited, before I introduce myself, I was invited to speak about an important topic. And I believe I'm the right person and that we are going to enjoy our moment together on health and well-being, but specifically understanding your body and menstruation and managing hygiene, myth, and taboos. Is it what you are expecting? What were you expecting? I may be in the wrong place speaking about something wrong. What did you expect? Huh? Once tell us what they thought about that they expected to hear this morning. So we are going to speak about that. But let me introduce myself. And I don't want you have to give me the rules because I move a lot when I'm teaching because of the cameras. Okay. I am Dr. Viola Nila Nyakato. I'm a doctor because I have a PhD, not because I'm a clinician or a medical doctor. I studied in Makerere for my undergraduate degree. That's many years ago. If I entered Makerere in 1997, how many years ago are they? My first year. How many years from 97 to date? 20 what? Oh my God, don't add my age because, So those many years, I was an undergraduate. And many years before, I went to a school called Immaculate Heart Girls School for 6 years. Then after that, I started working at Barra University since 2002. Where were you in 2002? Not born, isn't it? Yes. So I was there to start work in 2002, and I've been there since 2002. So that means I already have 20 years of working and plus at Barra University of Science and Technology. And then I did my master's in Sweden in public health. Then I came back and did my PhD at Barra University in development studies, but I focused on access to maternal health care. So I have been a dean. A dean is like a headmaster in a university. Universities have faculties, departments. So I've been a dean at Barra University. Currently, I'm a senior lecturer, but I did my administration and finished it and said, let me stay in class. So now I do only teaching and research, only that. And then I also do community service, like you see me here. I reach out to communities at all levels, including policy, communities, to share my knowledge and skills. And one of my expertise in research is adolescent health. Are you adolescents? Who is not an adolescent in this class? Come, because now I want only adolescents in this class, in this room. If you know you're below 10 and you're 9 and you're 8, who is below 8? 10. So that one is out of today. Do you have anyone below 8 years in this room? No. And then my last born is 9 years. So she's also an adolescent. Then I work very much. I like to work with adolescents. So one of the subjects that I deal with is working with adolescents. So when they told me to come and talk about menstruation, I was excited because I'm talking about a topic that is mine as a woman, yours as an adolescent, and a woman at that. So that's the topic I was asked to talk about. So that's what I'm going to talk about. The myth, the misconceptions, and hygiene. That's what I'm going to talk about. So I have highlighted a few things. Like I said, I was supposed to use images, and I will leave them for. I have I thought that you even were fewer. I share my other computer, which is here, and then you can see what I'm seeing, but it is not possible. But I'm going to try as much as possible, demonstrate what I'm seeing, but also what I'm talking about, But we need to have the story together and the knowledge together. So I'll be able, when I talk about menstruation, I'll talk about the menstrual cycle. And I'll talk about the products. What do we use? And I'll talk about other things that come with menstruation, like pain, mood management, and being normal when you're in menstruation. But also to talk about the myth and misconceptions, but also to know, when do I need help? Because do I need help? And I'll try as much as possible to make it interactive. So I don't know, that's my package, Mr. Doss. And You don't want him to stay. You're saying, isn't he going, a father, or isn't he going to be one? So he has to stay. Men and women need to know what happens to everyone. This is a topic for both men and women. So, do we have science teachers? Do they teach us our bodies and reproductive parts? They don't. Oh my God, I'm going to add myself on your, Mr. Doss, you add me on the list. So I had wanted to open up another computer and see if you can see what I'm seeing, but if it is not possible, we'll see what to do. And please stop me. It's going to be interactive. Stop me when you want to ask a question. Let me open up this other so that I can use when there is need to see, we shall see to listen. I had some voices. We shall try. And the people on the machines, if you have any help for me, you can guide me. Anyone who already has a question, a thought that they want to ask before I speak? Let me prepare myself very well. Okay, thank you so much. Now we have started. When I reach that slide, the teacher will see it. Okay, and he will guide. So we cannot speak about menstruation without speaking about body changes in puberty. So when we talk about body changes in puberty, we are mainly talking about the physical, psychological, and social changes that happen to us because we have entered into a puberty stage, and puberty is its onset is mainly when we turn puberty onset silently at around 8 years. Sometimes we may not know that it is onsetting. I always want to compare pubertal changes with the little changes that happen to us when we are born. And when I'm talking to young people, I ask them if they remember when they started growing their small first teeth, like milk teeth. Do you remember yourself when you grew up, you developed your milk teeth? You don't know. So also in the body, in our bodies, a lot of changes happen to make us form into what we become as male and female. And I want to use very simplified, non-technical language so that we can be together. So because the body grows and develops, so when we are coming towards the need for the body to take up a new stage, which is adolescence, the body starts changing. And there are key parts that change. Like I've given you an example of developing teeth. So the parts that are affected are in the what? In the mouth. So also puberty, I want to simplify it. It affects specific parts of our body, specifically parts that are related with reproduction. And one of the changes that we experience is what we are going to talk about today, which is menstruation. And in simple words, menstruation is the blood that comes out of us as women every month that is linked with ovulation. You get me? So, and it's a body change. It's a normal body change that is expected of you who has a body of a woman. It's a normal body change. Actually, if it doesn't happen, it may need attention because you're supposed to experience it. So that's why I used a simple language, a simple example of developing the teeth. So also menstruation is a body change. One time I was talking about menstruation with my daughter, and she said when she will see blood, she will run. She said, how can I breathe? So it's a body change that happens to us, and it is normal. And so there are many things. There are many things that take place in our brain. I'm not a physiologist or a biologist, so I will limit myself to what I know and I explain. And so everybody, the brain has components that change. Our reproductive parts have components that change. So when we change certain parts of the body, like breast development is one of the signs of, you'd have visually seen it here, is one of the signs that your puberty is setting off. And actually, when the breasts are developing, sometimes they are uncomfortable. If you remember when your breast started having something like a heavy thing inside when you are young, it becomes uncomfortable, and some people get anxious about it. Even some of you, your parents might have taken you to the doctor. For example, if the breasts come as early as 8 years, you get worried. Some people get worried. So that is a change that happens to us and comes along with other changes. Like, for example, growing hair around your private parts, and then within your armpits. All those are normal body changes that are meant to make us grow. So, and menstruation is one of the changes that happen. So I had put up a voice. So I wanted to know if it can be amplified. So, and a video, so that all of us, listen, it's just a 3 minutes voice that is explaining to us the process of changes. And so typically the first visual part, the first visual appearances, like I've said, on our body are the changes in our breasts, the development of the pubic hair, which I've talked about, and then they are very, very less small and invisible changes that happen to us in our bodies that we don't see. Do you see your ovaries? Do you know where they are? So all of us are born, if you are born with a reproductive system that has ovaries. So they start developing actually. And the uterus, if you're a woman, you have a uterus, and your private parts, its shape starts changing, and also your body starts like you have discharge, and as a result, after about 2.5 years, you see how it takes a long time. It takes, like, for example, between 8 and around 10. For example, if your puberty set off at 8 years in something that you don't see, it takes around 2 years and a half for you to get your menstruation. So to visually see. So it means it takes some time. And I will explain to you later some of the risks that come with some of these changes that happen to us, and they are taking some time. So the timing of our menstruation is sometimes genetic, most of the times genetic. It comes from for some of you, because of your family background, which has nothing to do with you. You may get your menstruation early. You may get it. Some of you will get it later. So it doesn't mean, I remember when I was in school, I went to secondary school when I was 11 years. And in my class, I don't know whether you do it also, almost everyone had pads. And for us, we didn't use the disposable pads. I had the images here. We didn't use them. We had cotton, cloth. You hear I was in school about 30 years ago. Many things have happened. So, and I saw girls with rolls of cotton wools and cloth, but I didn't know, and gauze, I didn't know what they were doing it with them. And I started, sometimes some girls became careless. I'm sorry for using that word. They would drop their pads everywhere. So I saw blood in the bathroom. So, and I waited on, and I was curious, and I was asking my friends, what is this? And I started participating in rolling up there. Over the weekend on Saturday, I would help them to roll and prepare their pads. Yes, because we were cutting cotton and getting gauze, those of them who had, and prepare and make a big kavera full of different pieces of what to use and be prepared. So, and so I participated in preparing for others before my menstruation came. So it took some time. And for a long time, they were laughing at me that I didn't have breasts. My colleagues in class were laughing at me that I didn't have breasts. So it doesn't mean that I was not going to get breasts, but later they came. So it's sometimes those changes also are genetic, but they are also scientists say that they are also environmental. They can be affected by environmental factors, nutritional factors, but they can also be affected by illness. So all those changes can be affected by other factors, but mainly they are about our genetics. We inherit them, so we have no control. So after that brief background about where menstruation comes, it's a normal body change that happens to us because of our body functions that later come to help us perform our function of being mothers. So it should come with a lot of pride that we menstruate. It shouldn't come very difficult. Although we shall see some of the difficult things that happen because of other factors that have nothing to do with us for being women. So I am going to take you through. I still don't know whether it is still possible to sound this. To sound the video that I have to see if we can hear it. But because like I told you, I wanted it to be we shall start again.
Also called having a period. As girls get older and their bodies change, they get their periods. The uterus is the part inside the body where a baby grows when a woman is pregnant. The inner lining of the uterus about the menstrual cycle. This is the time from one period to another, usually menstruation, also called having a period. As girls get older and their bodies change, they get their periods. The uterus is the part inside the body where a baby grows when a woman is pregnant. The inner lining of the uterus supports and nourishes the developing baby. If there is no baby, the lining is shed during her period. During a period, blood and other tissue from the uterus leave the body through the vagina. A period can last from a few days to about a week. You may have heard doctors talk about the menstrual cycle. This is the time from one period to another, usually about 28 days. Day 1 of the menstrual cycle is the first day of a period. The uterus starts to shed its lining. As soon as the period ends, the uterus prepares again to receive a fertilized egg. Eggs are released from a woman's ovaries. Eggs are super tiny, 1/10 the size of a poppy seed. Women have 2 ovaries, one on each side. The fallopian tubes lead from each ovary, the uterus. In the middle of the menstrual cycle, an ovary releases an egg. After ovulation, the egg travels down the fallopian tube. It takes a few days to complete the journey. Meanwhile, the lining of the uterus gradually gets thicker so it can support the development of a fertilized egg. If the egg gets fertilized, it will implant in the uterus and the woman is pregnant. If the egg is not fertilized, the woman is not pregnant and the egg will begin to dissolve. Because the woman is not pregnant, the lining of the uterus is not needed. A woman will have her monthly period and the cycle begins again.
So this video was intended to tell us what actually happens that we don't see. You get me? I started with an example of your first teeth. Did you see them? You said no. Did they develop? Yes. Did you get more teeth? Yes. So, why am I bringing this? Is that our bodies will change to build up the functionality to ensure that we have a functioning body. But it doesn't mean Because, for example, if you you start menstruating at 12, it's not a signal, because menstruation is a sign that you can get pregnant if you have sex. That's when you get a fertilized egg in your womb, which you've just seen. But it doesn't mean that you have sex. Not at all. It means that your body has grown. You get me? And to continue to go through that cycle, because the changes that happen to us, I've said they are physical, they are psychological, but they are also social. And I will bring you the social element just quickly, and we go to something else. The social element is that comes with responsibility, with expectation, with a question that has been put in my topic, which is hygiene, and many, many other things that happen. So these things are not visible to us, but they are part of our growth. Our headmistress, when we went to school, used to tell us that human beings, girls, you are not dogs, and I learned it later, that human beings have reason as opposed to animals which live by instinct. And we learn our reason from being guided on how we should use our bodies. So when you hear menstruation, as we shall be seeing later in the taboos, menstruation is not about your onset of having sex to give birth. No, it's the onset of growth. So that is what I can limit it to say that it's normal to menstruate, it's normal to leave your body to grow. Because if you meet, during COVID-19, I had several meetings, and I met small girls of 13 pregnant. And that time I had a 13-year-old, and I would say, would my daughter manage this pregnancy? No, she wouldn't. So that is menstruation. Just know that your body is going through its cycle. You get me? It's just going through its cycle. And actually, this cycle goes on until around 45, 50 years. They call it the fertility age of a woman. So it goes on from, like, for example, when they talk about pregnancy in a young age is risky. Pregnancy in a very, very old age is risky. So that means it is not expected, because your body is not yet ready, although it is growing. So, but menstruation, like you've seen in the video, you lose blood, which is one of the liquids that come out of your body. And it needs hygiene, it needs management. It needs hygiene and it needs management. I gave you the first example of some of the management products. So I want to hear from you, if we have a microphone, on some of the management materials. How do you manage your menstruation? We can take around a microphone. How do you manage menstruation? When the blood comes, how do you manage it? You can be the one who is not yet menstruating, like me, because I saw that time when I was in senior one, so it's okay, you can share. You've seen your sisters, you've seen everyone else. Although you have the knowledge, maybe you don't have the practice. So I'm not limiting it to those who are already managing their menstruation. So how do you manage your menstruation, and what do you use?
By bathing 3 times a day and by using soft care pads.
You use soft care pads? Yes. Someone else? Let's listen to each other. Someone else? Please go ahead. What do you use? How do you manage your menstruation? Someone else? Were you intimidated? You see, when you laugh, you intimidate each other. Huh? What do you use? Anyone else wants to share what they use, how they are managed? Can I take it that in this school, girls don't menstruate? Okay, you share your story. Huh? What do you use? How do you manage your menstruation?
Mm, I see my old sisters using knickers.
They have knickers,
They put on the pad
they have the pad,
and they wear like 2 knickers.
they wear 2 knickers. Wow. Please go ahead. What do you use? How do you manage? To manage your menstruation? Anyone else wants to share? What do you use? Okay. At least I've already picked up on a number of things. We use pads, and there are different types of pads. Some of them are visible here. Here is a knicker. Someone has talked about it. This is cotton wool. That's the only thing I knew when I was in secondary school. Actually, for us, we didn't see pads the whole of secondary school. Disposable pads. We didn't. And then here is cloth. Some people use cloth. And then there are other products. There are other products on the market like tampons. I don't know if you have heard about them. There are others called menstrual cups. And then there are disposable pads. What you use, and I'll go to that explanation. And then there are also prepared reusable pads. So, but like I said, menstruation comes with fluid, and fluid, which is blood. And so we need to maintain hygiene. We need to be hygienic. To begin with, you cannot be comfortable to soak in blood. So that's why pads are used, so that it is collected. Maybe some people may, like my daughter said, that for when she see blood, she will die and run. Some people would feel like they run. They die, but you can't die. You can't meet someone on the street walking and you say that one is menstruating. Can you say that person? Can you say that person and say that one is menstruating? Unless they get a stamp. They call it, what do you call it here? Stamping. When they leak, when someone leaks through, maybe they have not used the pad, or their pad has become full. So we need to be able to maintain, because if it stays for long on us, we can get a bad odor. You can be uncomfortable because it is wet already. But also, you need to feel clean. You need to feel clean. So that's why we are interested in what we call safety and hygiene during menstruation. And so, on average, I want to bring you this. On average, you have a term of 3 months, sorry. How many months is a term? 3 months. And menstruation, we have seen in a cycle on the YouTube video, it's a period of about 28 days, isn't it? So that's about a month. This means you get 3 bouts of your menstrual periods when you are in school. And someone has said you need to bathe 3 times a day. You may not even find time to bathe 3 times a day, but you can change your pad as much as possible. So you need maybe 3, depending on your how much blood comes. You need maybe 3 pieces of pads. On average, how many do you use in a day? You can use even up to 4. How many pads are in a pack of soft care? There are how many? There are 8. And how much is a pack of soft care? 3,000. So if you, for example, you have on average, someone can have a menstrual period of 3 to 4 days. So if you're using 4 pieces, you get me? In a day, this means in 2 days you finish a pack. So this means for your period time, you might need up to 3 packs. Do you get me? You might need 3 packs of pads. And that is around 9,000 in terms of cash. Why am I bringing this debate? So when you see the marketing of reusable pads, sometimes you might need them on yourself. Because just imagine when it comes and you don't have the 9,000. 9,000 times 3, how much is that? 9 times 3? 9 times 3? 9 times 3? Okay. 9 times 3 is 27. So you need 27. How much pocket money do you get? 1,000. So why am I saying this? Before I leave the discussion on products, because I want to be able to give you time to ask questions. Why am I saying this? Sometimes it can be difficult that you don't have a pad. One time I was conducting research in a district that I will not mention because I don't want to stigmatize some of you. Because I can mention a district and people start saying. So when I was doing research, I found a young girl of 14 years at an HIV/AIDS clinic. And she had just lost a baby. And we took a story. Yes, please, I'm telling you that I'm telling you the cost. And I took her story, and she told me that the man who made her pregnant and also caused her HIV/AIDS was buying for her pads. So that means also pads can cost you. So what do you do about it? There are many other materials that you can use in alternative. Because it can happen that, first of all, you have not bought the pads. Secondly, you don't have the money to buy it. Thirdly, they are used up. They are used up. You don't have them. Do you have an alternative? I'm speaking to you as a woman, and I'm speaking to you as girls. Do you ever give yourself an alternative? And very many young girls tend to stigmatize each other when they have alternatives. As a woman of virtue, aren't you women of virtue? Are you women of virtue? Are you women of virtue? I don't hear the voice. Are you women of virtue? Good girls. There are other alternatives that you need to have with yourself, just in case it happens that you can't have the pads. If it costs 27,000 to have pads for a term, what about if you gave yourselves alternatives? It is easy and convenient for you to have a reusable pad because you wrap it around, you put it in an incinerator or in a pit or in any other place that is designated for you to throw away the pads. It is very easy and convenient. You go in the toilet, you remove it and change and put another one. So reusable pads are convenient and easy, but they can cost you. And if you don't have them, because menstruation, I've told you, it's a body function, you have nothing to do about it. It's part of who you are as a normal human being. So if you have an alternative, it would be nice that you have an alternative to put in your suitcase. It would be nice to have cotton wool and its gauze and wrap it and have it clean because you throw it away when you're done because it will cost you, but you have it. It would be nice to have reusable pads. These days, people know how to wrap them very well, even take it to the sewing machine and make a good piece to wash again and keep and reuse. Although for some people find it so uncomfortable to wash blood, but you wash your knicker. But you may not have the money to have all the stock of the, how many pieces? 9 what? 9 packs in a term. Or even failing to change a part because you know that in the dormitory you've remained with one piece. So it would be nice to have some bit of reusable parts with yourself so that when that time comes, when is that time when you don't have even some shilling? What do you call it in your school? It's called kayas. So that time of kayas, the menstrual period will not know your kayas. You know, so? So it will still do what? Harm. So if you have, during those days of kayas, you can use, or you can say that when I am in a busy time, it is exams, I don't have time to use, or it is a wet season, I can't dry my reusable pad and gets ready and gets dry to use it again. You can have an alternative. So it would be nice to have alternatives that are cheap and easy to do what? To use. So that's one of the advice that I wanted to bring here. I'm coming to another part of our conversation today. What are some of the challenges, the other challenges? I've talked about hygiene. You've talked about bathing and washing your hands, using soap, washing your knicker, ensuring it is dry, changing, and making sure that you don't. And when it happens that you leak and get some blood on you, you clean up and do what? And change. Because everyone, like I will be saying later, no woman, even if it is the first lady, has never leaked of blood. No one. It can happen one morning and the blood comes and you are even not aware. So it's not that it can't happen. It can happen to you. It can happen to me. So what are some of the other individual challenges that we get? Different experiences with menstruation. People have different experiences. Is there anyone who wants to share? Again, like I've said, it doesn't have to be you, because I started with my story of making it easy. I used to see people until I got mine. So you can tell someone's story. I know sometimes it can be difficult. Oh, you can tell yours. Who wants to share other challenges other than hygiene and understanding of menstruation so that we can talk about them? Who wants to share? Someone else?
Menstrual cramps.
Cramps? Someone else? Don't mind, the men in the room will not know cramps. Isn't it? They will not know them.
Back pain.
Back pain? Someone else? Someone here? First we get hers and then we go here.
Pimples.
Pimples. When you get your big pimple here, everyone says, Huh?
Stomach ache.
Stomach ache. Anything else? Anything else? So, you have seen someone else's hand? Thank you for helping us take around the microphone.
Vomiting.
Yeah, some people can vomit. True.
Dizziness.
Dizziness, it is true, it can happen.
You also get blood clots.
Yeah, you get clots?
Blood clots.
Okay.
Body weakness.
Body weakness.
Some people experience swollen feet.
They experience what?
Swelling feet.
Swelling feet. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. And you know, people who don't share are the ones who laugh at answers. So it is true that menstruation can bring discomfort. It's true that menstruation can bring discomfort on you before and after and during. But some of these things that happen to us may not need any medical attention. They are just experiences that you go through, but some are really, really extreme. Some people get headaches. People get headache, and some people get mood changes. You meet someone and they don't want to speak to you. They are irritated. They are quarreling, but it is their peak time of the month. So there are very many non-medical strategies that you can use to help yourself, especially if you know that you get extreme experiences. Like you can drink some hot water, you can get a warm compress, you can go for water and place yourself, and then you can stretch, you can do exercises. You drink a lot of water, enough water in your body. But also when it is extreme, actually, pain is not okay. You can actually go to your school nurse and they give you a painkiller, acceptable painkiller. Some people say that manage the pain. It's part of, it's not right. If people get extreme pains, they need help. You get me? So you can for me, I sometimes feel pain and I know that's my menstruation. And I go for a painkiller because it is uncomfortable. So you need foods that are rich in iron. You need to take vegetables. I know you're in school, you're going to say vegetables, but they are beans. Don't you eat beans? Yes. You need some fruits, but plenty of water. It is also not advisable to take a lot of sugary and salty snacks and things during that time. Sleep enough. Yes, you can sleep enough instead of going in the dormitory to stalk. You want to stop prep because now how will you stop prep for her today? Prep for her tomorrow? You have to plan your sleep. I don't want to live here and you tell the dose they told us sleep enough because I'm menstruating. It's not true. Yes. Yeah, you need that. But also you need to track your cycle so that you're aware. I have a friend of mine, when she's in her menstrual period, she can barely do nothing. And she's a professor. She can barely do nothing. She needs to be in bed. And she's a professor of a big subject. I will not talk about it. So she knows her cycle. She knows she will say, Viola, don't give me an appointment for that time. I will not be okay. So she plans her time and knows that time of the week, of the month, she will almost do nothing. Like I've said, dizzy, what? It happens. It doesn't happen only to you. So plan for your cycle. And some people, it is normal and they will go on with their business. But others, they will not. That's why I'm saying our bodies are what? Are different. If I bring you, all of you here, you don't look alike. You are different. So the same with the changes that happen. So you need to know very well your programs and your patterns, and you plan very well. The same way you plan for your pads and how you manage is the same way you need to plan for the other health related changes that happen to you. I'm coming towards my end, but I want to ask another question. There are many things that we have heard about menstruation. Who has not heard anything about menstruation? There are very many things we have heard. A list of them. It will be like this. It means this. This happens. Do this. Has anyone heard in your stories with your friends, everyone else? What have you heard about menstruation? This is a question that anyone can answer. What have you heard about it? What have you heard? Share. Yes, someone here? What have you heard about menstruation?
I have heard about menstruation. People saying that if it is your first time to go in menstruation, and let's say that when you go there that you feel stomach pain, and you go to the medical health center and you get some medicine from there.
Listen, please listen.
That it becomes a habit. So when every month you go in menstruation, if you don't take that tablet, that you keep on feeling the stomach pain.
Okay. What have you heard about menstruation? She has heard that if you go for medicine and it is your first time, you will always go for medicine. What have you heard about menstruation? Someone is here? Some of you don't want to share your stories. Why? You don't have? Those those needs to go. Those you should go. They have asked that you give them a chance. But he's a father, he's your daughter, and you run there. He can go. We will follow up. It's okay. Okay, say.
For me, what I know about the menstruation period is that if you always take the drugs make your blood smell bad.
Okay. Someone else? What have you had? Okay. What have you heard about menstruation? Please share.
For me, I've heard about menstruation that, like, if I'm in that pain, it's not good to take a lot of that medicine.
Okay.
Because it affects the brain.
Okay. What have you heard about menstruation? Now share. Now I want to see many hands. They are here. Very many.
A question I want to ask is why do some women go in menstruation for 2 weeks?
Okay. Please go ahead. That's a question. We shall come to questions. But now, what have you heard? What have you heard?
I have heard that if you are in a menstruation period, and let's say
Listen to each other. Maybe what she has heard, you have heard.
that if you are in a menstruation period and you use the pad and throw it anywhere, and a dog comes and eats your blood, that you keep on going in menstruation period for the rest of your life.
Okay, when you throw it anywhere and the dog eats it, you shall go in menstruation the rest of your life. What have you heard about menstruation?
Especially in Baganda, like whenever you're in, if it's your first time to experience the menstruation, like, and you talk about it to your mom or any other elder, then they're like, you take it to your mother's room, you sleep on the bed, you count.
Yes, continue.
Like you count the days you want to always spend in your menstruation. You'll be like 1, 2, 3. I'll always stop on the third day. That's what I normally hear about that. And if you don't do that, like you may even express it for the whole week.
Okay. Someone else, what have you heard? Someone behind you and another one behind you.
I have heard that if you are in menstruation, you should not take sugar and salt.
Okay. Someone else?
People with heavy flow use Pampers.
Okay. That people with heavy flow use Pampers. Okay. This side. This side. Can we listen to each other, please? Who was there? Someone had a hand up.
Me, I've not had, but I've also experienced, whereby you experience periods, then after 2 weeks, next month you jump, next month you skip, next month you skip. Is that normal?
Okay. We shall come. Listen. Listen to each other. Actually, there are some questions you're going to ask. So listen now. I'm asking this question to confirm. I'm asking this question to confirm that actually, let's listen to each other. So I call back the dose. So let's listen to each other. I have asked this question to confirm that there are taboos and myths. Remember, when I started talking, I said that most of the different experiences that we have with our menstruation, the time you spend, when it starts, the kinds of pains you experience, most of them are inherited. Just a few are environmental, and others have to do with our health, and others have to do with our nutrition. But the rest that happen, and just a few, actually it is mostly inherited. It has to do with your genes. You get me? So these are actually myths and misconceptions. Some of the myths, if you go back to the history of how they make myths, some myths are for solving problems for which people may not have answers. Like, for example, if they tell you sleep on the bed, count, they are trying to make you comfortable. Because it has come, it is not going to end. So your mother is trying to make you what? So it is psychological. So culturally, there are things that they practice that were psychological, that were meant. Maybe someone can help us that noise is going to disrupt. That some of the things are going to happen. So it is not true that when you face up and count, psychology is very important. Psychology is very important. It can even build your character. So you might have that. So what is true is that periods are normal. And actually, when you don't get them, that's when you're not normal. And the experiences that you get are normal, except that when it is extreme, as I will be saying, it should be dealt with. So this is why we need periods or menstruation with dignity. Don't laugh at your friends. You get me? Prepare yourself. It is okay to have an extra pad and to keep it well. It is not true that when you throw away your pad and the dogs lick it, you will lick forever. No, what is true is that keep it hygienic. It's dirty to when you wake up in the morning and you find your pad is down thrown there. Do you feel nice? We should keep it somewhere where not everyone is doing what. And actually, it is my body fluids. They can make someone else get contamination. It's my body fluids. That's why we bathe. That's why we clean up. So that's why we should keep it in a way that makes our environment is clean. Just imagine each and every one of you, if you're throwing your pads around the compound, what would happen to this compound? What would happen to this compound? It would be very dirty. So it was like that example is hygiene example. You get me? So it is not true that periods are dirty. It's not true that you can't work because you have periods, although some people can be weak and sick, and we appreciate that. It is not true that when you bathe, you cause cramps. It is not true that when you're in your periods, you don't do sports, you don't do exams. When there is a calendar for Olympics, you do a lot of debate as revival girls. When you're going to be when you're going to be on stage to debate and in the morning you're menstruating, do you stop? So menstruation does not stop anything. You clean up yourself, dress properly, off you move, and continue the life. So it is not true that reusable pads are unsafe. They just need to be kept clean. I'm picking up on some of the things that go around and they are not true. It is not true that when you have irregular cycles, someone has talked about an irregular cycle. Like, for example, when you've had your first period, I've told you that when your puberty sets on at around 8 years, it can take you up to 2.5 years to see your first period. You get me? So, that's a very big period. And for some people, when you get the first period, it can come back after a year. So it is just that at the beginning, it is so irregular. The same happens at the end, by the way, because menstruation ends. So some of us who are about to be in menopause, who are old, it will start being what? Irregular. Like it became when I was young. Periods are normal for everyone. We just need to endure them and know how to manage ourselves. We should bathe well. And I have this because this is my passion. Protecting and informing girls that it is not okay to be pregnant or to have sex when you're not married, or to be pregnant before you become responsible and grow enough, which I call teenage pregnancy or adolescent pregnancy. You don't need the pregnancy. And some of these misconceptions have put many young girls at risk, that you can't get pregnant when you have sex for the first time. When do you know that that's when your ovulation has come? I'm going to take you to ovulation. So don't have sex. That one I say it very clear. You don't need it. You get me? Your students, what's the role of a student? To study, isn't it? To study and get good grades. That is it. It's not true that when you don't have sex, you become a normal. It's not true. Your friends should not lie you. You get me? Get it from an old woman of gray hair who is about to turn many years, which I don't want to say here on camera. So it can't be true that when you can't get pregnant when you press sex in periods. Some people tell lies that you can actually press sex. It's not true. A respectful husband later, when you get married, should not demand for sex when you're in periods. That's not respect. I say it now here. They should respect your body. You get me? So those ones I'm giving them. So we need to be very careful and care for our bodies. So I end by saying that you need to have these things for your dignified menstruation management period. Menstruation management. You need your pads. And if you don't have enough, if reusable pads are very convenient and nice. I also am a woman who likes convenience, because when it is not convenient, I can't do my work. So when I go to wash, to wait, but if you don't have them, there are alternatives. Do you get me? I put my alternatives here. Cotton, tissue, all those are alternatives. Have an alternative if you're going to be a woman of virtue. Have spare panties. Have your nice toilet bag where you keep your things and they become orderly. Plan your pain management. Those of you who get pain, plan your pain management and be clean. Wash. Don't come from toilet after changing your pad. eh, then you don't wash your hands. Please wash your hands. So I'm going to go into one second last thing, I think. And I want to talk about menstruation and the risks of teenage pregnancy. It was not among the things that they wanted me to talk about, but I have to talk about them because I know they are very important. Because teenage pregnancy changes your life cycle. Some families can't accept it. We have seen very many young people go into abortion, risky abortion, because in Uganda, abortion is not legal, it's not allowed. So anyone who is conducting an abortion exercise know that they are doing it illegally, and so they are not going to take responsibility. You're putting your life at risk. You get me, girls? There is no one in Uganda who is going to conduct a medical safe abortion for you because it is illegal. You get the word? It is what? It is what? And so, when they do it, you know they are doing it at your risk because for them, they are not going to risk. So, it will put you at risk. So, they will do it irresponsibly and they not do it in a way that protects you. So, don't do it. And by not, what do you do for you not to do it? You abstain. How do you know? So, keep yourself safe. Don't put yourself at risk. Why am I saying this? Teenage pregnancy is one of the highest health burdens for Uganda. You get me? 25%. 25%. Those of you mathematics, it's a quarter. How many, when we say 25% of 10 is how many people? In 10. Huh? I'm looking for mathematicians. Huh? 25% is a quarter. How many people? If I made people, 10 girls stand here, how many are 25%? 25% of 10. 5 is a half. 2.5. So, 25% of people who give birth, women who give birth, are actually teenagers and adolescents. So, it is true that young people are getting pregnant. And it comes with a high risk. Risk of dropping out of school, the first one, you not complete your education. The risk of being unmarried. Traditionally, they would kill you, chase you, but now you come back home. Some parents, they have to care for their children. They're living in their homes. So it comes with a lot of social, economic, physical risks. So it's better not done. Why do you have something that you not enjoy? So you need to be responsible. The burdens are mostly on women and girls and planned pregnancies. The responsibility is on women and girls. So during COVID-19, the Federation for African Women Education estimated that teenage pregnancy increased by over 300% among the 10 to 14-year-olds. Get me? Because they were not in school. When they went out of school, communities became unsafe. Schools were safe, like you're here, they tell you what to do, you don't get out. But when you're out of school, the risks are higher. So when you're home, because our community is not as safe, go home early, dress well. You know, they blame us. Even when they have raped you, they blame you. You know that? So you better know that it can be risky. Communities are risky. When children were out of school, the communities were at risky. We are trying to have a conversation. How do we make communities safer? Schools have become safe, but how do we make communities safer for women and girls? So it is possible that also menstruation can put you at, it's not possible, it is true. You are at 100% risk that you can get teenage pregnancy because you are a woman and you're menstruating. So don't joke with it. So that's one. The second one, which I would have wished that you see, but that one doesn't have voice. So I'm going to explain it, is what we call the cycle. The menstrual cycle is important for understanding pregnancy. Not that I'm teaching it to you to go and have sex. I'm teaching it to you to be aware. You get me? You get me? To be aware, because knowledge is what? Power. Knowledge is what? So I'm teaching you menstrual cycle because knowledge is what? Power. So I've said that it is the body. You've seen in the first video that the cycle for it continues. Like how you get hungry and you need food. Eh? The body doesn't know that you are in school, you're out of school, you're not married, you're having sex when you're not married. The body doesn't know. You get me? For it keeps what? Its cycle. So when we go through the cycle of 28 days, you see them? So in green is when you're in your periods, 1 to 5 days. In what? In blue, the first blue is when what? Is the first blue up to 12 days is when your body starts preparing another egg. So the egg is getting ready. Biologists, you come and add on this one. In here, it is ovulation. In pink, 13, 14, 15. So the egg is out. And in the last blue, you get me? The body is preparing itself for another menstrual period. But because it's unseen, that's why you say track your cycle. Because it's unseen, you will forget that is happening to you. It is not paining you. It is not hurting you. There's nothing that is happening. But the body is doing its what? Its functions. So it's important that we know the cycle. I'll put a link. I will share with your chaplain so that you know about your cycle and what is happening throughout the what? Throughout the month. So please know your cycle. Why? Because I have told you that also menstruation is a high risk for teenage pregnancy. And teenage pregnancy is a big burden. It's a big problem that is affecting us as a country. And we need to be able to prevent teenage pregnancy. And lastly, when do we need to ask for help? You've talked about the different challenges that we get during pregnancy. For example, if you're using a pad and feels this I'm reading verbatim, and it feels weight feeling. Don't see small blood and you think you're feeling weight feeling, and that's one. And it feels in less than 2 hours, so it becomes weight heavy in less than 2 hours. And also it has large clots. Your blood has some things are coming out, large clots, like someone drops something like this large. You need to ask for help. Don't keep it yourself. And anything to do with reproduction, reproductive care, why it delays, it brings a shame on us. And so we delay to seek for care. But it is okay to seek for what? For care. Please ask for help. Another one, if you get severe pain that does not get relieved with, like if you get a lot of pain that does not get relieved with pain management, sometimes you need help. You need to ask for help. And if periods don't stop for 3 months, not due to pregnancy, you need to ask for help. These are some of the things that have been identified where you need to ask for what? For help. And then also, if you get fever, if you get smelly discharge, actually menstruation is supposed not to smell unless you manage it. It has its own order that is not, but if it becomes very difficult, bad discharge that is smelling, you also need to ask for help. Some people, when they become dizzy, they faint, that could be also a sign of of what? And also when you have anemia, like if you don't have tiredness, pale skin, all those things, if they happen to you, you need to do what? Ask for help. So please, you can ask for help if some of these things.
Revival TV, amagaru wijwire.
Yay, mwe! Ekirigito kyagaruka! The Right Reverend Associate Professor Fred Sheldon Mwesuga, or founder and patron, hamwe na Words of Hope Executive Director, Reverend Canon Captain Titus Baraka. Ibeta abantu mwene nkuza Revival Radio chenda neishatu, katonyeza ibirifama na Revival TV, okwijo mukirigito rugogoma! Tubase kusimara hanga hamwe, habwe myaka mushanju ya Revival Radio no mwaka gumwe gwa Revival TV. Ekirigito ekintu kibaibira munano kwikumnakum, 2025 Kacheka Stadium. Omujanyi mukuru nija kuba His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni kandi ababuruzi benjiri orkwija kuba yebembire ngo ababuruzi akirigito the Bishop wa Northankere Diocese, the Right Reverend Alfred Muhozi, the Reverend Canon Captain Titus Baraka, or Executive Director of Words of Hope Ministries Uganda. Hariho n'ebiconco nyamwingi byokusingura iwe kyorakora gura coupon ninga coupons ekirakubaso kwetaba omukazano okusingura ebiconco nyamwingi omuryewe harimo emotoka ecyapa cy'itaka bajaji boxer n'ebindi bingi bantu mwe mutakafuerwe ekirigiteki kishagikwa aba Amity Writers Limited abarikugura n'okuguza amataka aba Millennium Circle 2012, Bishop Stewart University, Raro Mission Hospital, Vanilla CCTV cameras, Pamwena St. Peter's, Altar Wine. Ekirigito mutakifuerwa!
Ninkwanjura bakugom byokubazira aba Dennis DO Expert Tailors abakugom kubazira suti ezaburu muringo ezabashija nangwa nezabojo oyino mukoro ninga no zinduka ijaba kupangisa suti ziri hamutindo eza checked ninga plain akabei karunji mununga kandi niwe waba noenda kugura nibakora hoje mununga akabei karunji bine introduction suits, African wear suits, enkoba emparezo murembe eza gento na jean bino busatu burunji nabwa t-shirt burunjo gwo rukujwara okashanko waruga America bine neckties nebindi birunji munonga mbweni bashanje mu rurembo rwambarira ahal high street warga kizimbe cya Grand West Arcade ekikubo cyo kubanza ecyambarira bookshop room namba ya 5 waza kwikaze bra crossing hihi na Besania Sako okumenya bikukiraho the director Expert Tailors Dennis Orisabo wishemwe hanoti mushanju 5 mukaga ashatu nemwe 98 50 na renoti mushanju 83 93 anana mukaga ashatu nina moto yabo I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me okurgomba Filipe shura yakana umushororo 13 ababanira CCTV cameras abarukushango mu rurembo rwambarira bagarikana insurance ababanira ubwa hati bine card cameras ezikora kirone ihangwe kandi zikureba uburingo bwa meters 20 nankaga alarm cameras smart hybrid 5 megapixels cameras PTZ cameras bine DVR na NVR eza 2 megapixels na 5 megapixels hard disks bine na za cameras zindi ziri kuzabikondo bya sora nebyo amashanyarazi kandi cyo mutano kamera zikuzabikondo zibazi gitureho wifi na internet bagigita simu yawe yo mu ngaro kandi ogwe rikosa memory card bine byome bikubara senti hariyo wa bank sako nangwa no mu bukwate motoka yawe wete tracking devices nibaburiyo bashanja office zabe nkuru ezikushango mu rembo rwambarira wabanotaho mu gate ya bus park ninga hitaji rya Bersia umuchombe ku cyaro kwa Gosenega na Amazon building opposite Stanbic Bank ninga shotere no tumushanju mukaga 98 nari no tumushanju 52 98 98 ejo nisaba banira urinde byawe nabawe.